Good morning, everyone. Here we are again, re-recording this video, but this is the parts of speech for figurative language. Now, we've talked about figurative language a bit in the classroom, but we haven't gone into it too in depth for a wide range of them. And so here's our formal lesson on it, and we'll have more times. We'll be going back to these again and again throughout the rest of the year. So, yeah. Parts of speech for figurative language. Figurative language adds an element to writing that allows us to engage the reader in a different way. It allows them to bring in personal accounts. It allows them to imagine the scene in a different way while engaging them at a new level. So there's 8 main forms of figurative language that we're going to look at. Simile, metaphors, alliteration, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, personification, idiom, and imagery. Those are the 8 main ones that we are going to look at. So a simile is a comparison using like or as, aka it's an indirect comparison. So simile examples are those like, she was as smart as an owl, the student was as quiet as a mouse, or my backpack was like a bag of bricks. These are indirect comparisons, and they allow us to say someone was acting in a certain way to something that is familiar to us. It can add emphasis to their actions. Now, this is in not opposition, but it is similar to a metaphor. A metaphor, however, is a direct comparison. Rather than saying like or as, it's saying it is just like that thing. So the strawberry was a fresh summer day. It's different than saying the strawberry was like a fresh summer day. It's trying to make a more direct comparison to the what it is trying to be compared to. The rain came down in full cold buckets. It's not the rain came down like full cold buckets or as a full cold bucket. The test was a long, never-ending marathon, and she read the book at a snail's pace. None of these use like or as, and they are designed to be more direct. Alliteration is when you repeat a consonant sound at the beginning of the word. Now, it doesn't mean it needs to be the exact same letter. For example, if you have the PH and the F sound, you can have that same consonant sound, so the F sound. So you could put something along the lines of, friends phoned funny fables to fake finding fairy tales. I should have come up with that example beforehand. But even though those had a lot of different letters in them, like the phone and the friends, it still has that same consonant sound. So other examples that we have: Betsy bought bigger bottoms for baby Billy. Samantha saw 7 silly soldiers selling strawberries Saturday. And Maria made millions of marshmallow muffins for mellow messengers? I gotta read. For many mellow messengers. So it doesn't need to be every word. You see for, you see of, for. You can have words in between that, but as long as there's that repetition in that same sentence, that is an example of alliteration, and it can help bring attention to a certain event or action in your story. Onomatopoeia is words whose sound suggest its meaning. So, for example, the bee buzzed by flying back to their hive. Click the button to take the picture. And the pig squealed when it saw the dog coming. So one of the things that you have is that with these sounds, they can be emphasized as well. It can be ouch. It can be saying anything where you're trying to imitate what that sound sounds like in word form. Hyperbole, an extravagant exaggeration. It's obviously over the top. Now, it needs to be obvious. It can't be within even the realm of possibility. I ate 10 apples today. That's not a hyperbole, because if you're hungry enough, you could realistically eat 10 apples. I ate 1,000 apples today. No, that is a hyperbole. That one is, because it is it is impossible for you to eat 1,000 apples in a day. So, other examples, the walk was 1,000,000 miles long. I ate 5,000 pancakes for breakfast. The bag of gifts weighs a ton. So these are all obvious exaggerations. They cannot be within the realm of possibility. Number 6 is personification. It's giving human qualities to non-human things and ideas. So, for example, it's giving ideas or actions that only humans can do realistically to non-human things. So, the tree leaves danced in the wind. So, obviously, leaves don't dance. The chair stood up straight and tall. Chairs don't stand up. And the car jumped to the finish line. Obviously, it can't jump either. Okay. An idiom. Now, an idiom is one that's a little harder to explain. It's a phrase that has a meaning different from the different dictionary definition. So idioms are very hard to learn, especially when learning a second language. So it's an overused phrase, okay? She didn't want to open that can of worms. So obviously when you say that, you're not wanting to get into that turmoil or get into that argument or get into that situation. She's not literally opening up a can of worms. The test was a piece of cake. That's a common one that we use in the classroom. You're saying that it was easy. Obviously, the test wasn't an actual piece of cake. Don't take the fall for your friend. You're obviously, when you're saying that, you're wanting to not take the blame for it. You're not actually falling for your friend. And the early bird gets the worm. When you say that, you're not pointing out a bird that is up particularly early in the morning getting breakfast. You're saying the quicker you start, the more luck you'll have or the more rewards you'll get. So they're overused phrases that have different meanings from the dictionary definition. And then finally, imagery. This is something we've been talking about throughout the year. It's using your senses and describing them with strong language to explain your surroundings to your audience. So rust fell off the ancient and cracked bell as its eerie ring flowed through the hall. The sickly sweet taste of the juice quenched my thirst. Or time seemed to stop as the familiar fresh smell of bread slowly filled the house. Even here, that's a little bit of a I can't think of the word right now. Alliteration, thank you. Time seemed to stop, okay? And those are all describing different senses that you have to bring the reader into your story. That's all we have for today. There is one more that I want to get into a little bit in more detail, but we will go from there, okay? So thank you very much. Good luck and